This is Patrick Campbell. He has been dubbed FHS's #1 superfan by all who know him. Patrick graduated high school in 1997 and was diagnosed with autism at an early age. But despite this, he has never missed a single game.
All right, Patrick Campbell is a autistic student who has been a Farmington alumni for many, many years. He started athletic-wise with Special Olympics while he was at Tibbetts Middle School, and he went on, and then when he came up to Farmington High School, his class would combine with the Student Senate, and they started the Activities and Leisure class. The Activities and Leisure class on certain days would go golfing. On certain days they would go to the bowling alley. On certain days they would do other things into the community. And also during that time they would also go to work at Target and D Trash Shoes. So first, Patrick started as an athlete representing Farmington High School through Special Olympics. And then as years went on, while he was in high school, he went to every basketball game, every football game, and every softball game at that time.
So Patrick Campbell, he and I first met in middle school, junior high at the time, at Tibbetts Middle School. And Patrick was definitely a true original in his own regard. And so one of the things that we learned early on is Patrick's ability to handle numbers.
You went to school with our assistant principal, Mr. Martinez, correct?
Yeah.
And he told us that you were really good with numbers. Is that true?
Yeah.
And since that, what's the square root of 5,250?
72.8.
And this is one thing that we love to test on a regular basis. And so, of course, us being in junior high and having typical math struggles that you might have, we liked to defer to Patrick and see about how well he knew numbers. Many times we'd give him square root problems for really intricate numbers, and Patrick was always able to solve it before we could punch it into the calculator, which we just thought was phenomenal. He had an impact on the student body then, just because he's always been positive. He's always been someone that you could look at and know that they're just enjoying themselves.
Patrick remembers everybody's birth date. He remembers the actual day you were born on. He can actually tell you the weather on the day that he was. He has that ability. You can give him a 5-digit number times a 5-digit number, and he will tell you exactly what that amount is at the end.
Looking forward today, what we see Patrick at every event that we have here, especially during football and basketball seasons, both boys and girls basketball seasons, and Patrick has become a prime stakeholder in those games, and most certainly our #1 fan. Patrick helps and knows the music that we play. He helps cheerleaders. He knows the Kelly Greens. He knows the Riot Squad folks, and he knows the players especially. Still good with numbers. He always reminds me when our next game is at the end of the game. And so Patrick has become a staple at Farmington High School and our #1 fan. He definitely keeps the crowd into it. On occasion you'll see Patrick working the crowd and making sure that they're staying in good spirits.
But Patrick is an icon here. I mean, he comes and he cheers. It doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, doesn't matter. He's going to be here. And 90% of the time, he walks. He used to walk from Flora Vista to Farmington High School to come to a football game, to a basketball game, every day. So Patrick has been at Farmington High School and part of Farmington High School for many, many years as he turns 39 this year.
So one evening when we were sitting outside on the field, finishing up our rehearsal, I saw him sitting in the stands. And so I knew that we had to have an opportunity to say thanks to him. And I went over and talked to him and found out that it was actually his birthday on that evening. And so we invited Patrick over to the band after we had finished rehearsal and sang happy birthday to him and let him play or conduct the fight song while we played. I haven't seen much of a bigger smile than that on his face.
And so when we look at athletics at our school and how the New Mexico Athletics Association talks about competing with class, Patrick is the prime example of what competing with class is all about. He's an example of all the pillars that are included in that motto that the NMAA has adopted. And we're just fortunate to have him at Farmington High School.
Patrick's a great individual. He's someone that everybody looks up to and one definitely wants to be like.
Patrick, how are you?
Good.
And Patrick, you went to school here, right?
Yeah.
And you've been coming to every single basketball game?
Mm-hmm.
Then right now our boys are on their way to state, and win or lose, we'll always bleed green, right?
Go green.